What do villains teach us about our creativity and our creative unfolding? The most important takeaway is that villains force the hero to grow up. I'm going to outline a few things about the villain that you need to know, and then I promise I'm going to make this about your creativity and you're going to feel it. So stick with me, I'm going to cook. Number one, the hero meets the villain and sees someone who is locked in. They are dripping, oozing with discipline, focus, conviction. You couldn't pay the villain to entertain a doubt. Imagine Darth Vader doubting himself. If you asked the villain about their obstacles, they would say, I haven't seen one yet. You feel this is already about you. Number two, the villain moves in accordance with the vision. Unlike the hero who moves in accordance with his own self-concept, which the hero discovers is limited. Three, and it's related to the above. The villain is dynamic, committed to action and execution. So shocking is this encounter with the villain's execution that the hero meets the villain and finds himself stuck. Now I'm going to explain why and what this has to do specifically with you as an artist. According to mythology, again, not the superhero film, which is like a side cousin. And in real mythology, the villain is not mean. He's not the bad guy. The villain appears this way to the hero because the villain does not have the same fears that the hero has. It's about fear. So all of these things, discipline, focus, execution, are on the other side of the hero's most critical fear. The villain is the universal symbol, the archetype for the ruthless, antagonizing agent of the hero's most critical fear. Now, what does this have to do with you? The secret of mythology, which is why it's different than the superhero film, is that in mythology, the hero is a metaphor for the artist. The villain represents the artist's inevitable coming of age, which can only happen with a ruthless interrogation of your most critical fear. So if you are an artist and you feel stuck, you think that you might be waiting to feel sufficiently talented or sufficiently confident. Instead, what the villain shows us is that the artist must graduate from this immature orientation of always thinking about themselves. The ability to be truly locked into your craft is about growing up. The villain shows the hero that the most critical block on the path of him becoming a mature artist, to becoming a hero, is himself. In order to grow old with your art, in order to stay engaged with your art for a lifetime, you need to teach yourself how to see how you are in your own way. That you need to encounter your own inner villain, not be villainous, not do bad things. You can try that. You may find yourself stuck again. You will find that all of the action you are using is oriented towards validating yourself, taking whatever shortcut you can to manipulate the evidence that you belong where you want to be. As that's fine, but what mythology tells us is that season in our creative development expires. If we are stuck, it may be because you're actually just doubling down on your fears that you mistake for wisdom, fears that you pretend are virtuous. So I created the Villain Challenge. Think about it as 75 hard, but for your creativity. It's a 30-day container where we lock into a set of rules and we do them every day. I put the rules in the caption so you can just screenshot those and do it yourself. If you're interested in the 30-day container that I created, I'll leave some details that you can also screenshot at the end of the video, but I want to explain what you can expect. One, I will walk you through discovering what is your critical fear. And I promise you, it is not a fear that you're aware of. The critical fear is a fear that you mistake as virtue, as you are hiding this fear from yourself. Two, you will author a lore for your own inner villain, someone who does not have that same fear that you do. Three, you will put that inner villain, your inner villain, in conversation with yourself. The most critical part of this work is the journaling. You have to journal every day, but the catch is that you journal in the voice of your inner villain, specifically about your creative process. Imagine Darth Vader taking a critical look at your creative process. What would that feel like? What would you learn? If you want a contemporary example of this, you can think about Kendrick Lamar's ruthless appraisal of Drake and his work. The catch is that it's not just Darth Vader, it's not Maleficent, it's you. You are authoring the villain from your fear, you're building the lore, and you are writing the feedback. 4, you are releasing your inner villain onto your work. 5, you learn from your inner villain and you integrate those lessons and you graduate. Just as in myth, the hero graduates from being student to master. This is my objective for you. Good time to introduce myself. My name is Vanessa. I am an opera singer and a writer. I survey art, culture, world religion, philosophy, mysticism, everything for wisdom about the creative process, specifically how to be engaged in your art like an adult. What I can tell you now is what these ancient sources say. 1, that art is not just a vocation. Art is a tradition. It is the primordial tradition of our species. 2, that this tradition is not about do not get better simply by cultivating skill. We get better by developing a relationship with our craft that allows us to be in service of the talent that we were given. And you need to discover what art is asking of you, and you need to release the fears that are preventing you from stepping into that duty. Star Wars is my favorite myth. What Luke Skywalker learns when he meets Darth Vader, that his motivations for wanting to be a Jedi are insufficient to the actual task, the work of being a Jedi. I say that I care about creative maturity, but I think what I actually just care about is maturity. I look around us at the world and I see that everything is collapsing. I can feel it. So can you. The veil is thin. Our neighbors are being thrown into cages. Entire communities all around the planet are being ethnically cleansed, and here you are feeling helpless. At the same time as you are perhaps feeling stuck in your creativity, and I am asking you to interrogate the relationship between those two things. Perhaps you are not stuck in your art because you are broken. Perhaps you are stuck because you are ambivalent to our true nature, which is to be of service to one another. You are critically lacking in the hope that it requires to be deeply engaged in your art for a lifetime. You think that the only thing that's going to sustain you in your art is success, being validated by other people. Wisdom that I survey tells us that that is the wrong idea. Who is the hero if not the character that is committed? It shows us what it looks like to be committed to putting some aspect of their own self-interest down in favor of their community. My thesis and the objective of my work and of the Villain Challenge is to support you through this coming of age that your soul is asking for. It's not me doing it. Your soul, by virtue of you being blocked and sick of yourself, is asking you to grow up. It is your soul doing it, not me. Ancient sources show us that we are oftentimes stuck because we are loyal to fear, not prisoners of it. And if you are stuck in your creativity or in this feeling that you cannot help the world as it's crumbling around us, I refer you to what the great revolutionaries say, that we have nothing to lose but our chains. So perhaps you are not stuck because you are broken. Perhaps you are stuck because you are ambivalent to the nature of hope, what is required of us in order to have it. So I created the Villain Challenge. Think about it like 75 Hard, but for your creativity. It's a 30-day course with workshops from me, 5 workshops from me that guide you through this discovery of creative maturity and integrate it into your art. Another component of the Villain Challenge, again, is the 75 Hard. There are rules that I have designed very carefully from my survey of these sources that refer to creative coming of age, about how to approach your art like a grown-up from the soul's perspective. Leave some details at the end of this video, but for now I want to focus on the rules. Are rules that help you understand, cultivate, and practice this maturity in the body. You can join or just follow along on your own, do some sort of DIY with your friends. But here they are. 1, a 45-minute workout every single day, no exception. In the other video, you'll see me talking more about the importance of the villain in actualizing the hero. But what we know about villains is that villains take pristine care of their vessel. Their mission is mighty, but they need their body underneath them to support them. What I know for sure in my own work as an opera singer, you cannot expect your creativity to grow, to evolve, if the body that houses it does not also evolve. Creativity is essentially the Big Bang. The Big Bang wants to happen in you. Second rule of the Villain Challenge, villain plotting, 45 minutes on your creative work every single day, no exceptions, because imagine a villain who is not pursuing their work in some way every single day. Villains do not take a day off. Villains do not procrastinate. You, however. 3, villain meditation. Meditation every single day for 10 minutes, no exception. Creativity is a long game. Without a calm mind, without a calm nervous system, you'll mistake anxiety for flow state. And when that anxiety and all that pressure crashes in your system, you'll mistake that for a lack of talent and you'll want to quit. Let me tell you something, not on my watch. 4, villain morning page. Journaling every single day in the voice of your villain. This is the most powerful, most critical element of the individualized work within the course. Meticulously authored, progressive, structured journal prompts that take you through every stage from discovery of the fear to integrating this material into your work. But imagine a villain that has the same objective as you, does not have the same fear. Then imagine that character giving you feedback. The villain is not someone who is mean to the hero for no reason. The villain is the character in every mythological story who forces the hero to step into the arena by himself. This is what happens with the journal prompts. 5, villain purification. Pick a vice and abstain for 30 days. There is lots written across the various ancient spiritual traditions about the relationship between a vice and your creativity. Abstaining will get you to discover that. 6, the villain lair. Maintain an impeccable creative space every day for the duration of the challenge. Maybe you're trying to be a writer, but you don't have any organized system. And the villain exposes how we are in our own way, thereby liberating us from the paralysis that tells us we are not good enough. Finally, villain embodiment. Villains embody their mission. It's in their clothes, it's in their speech, it's in their voice. It's in the same way, mature artistry is about being an artist 24/7, not cosplaying one when you have 2 consecutive days off of your corporate job. This rule gets you to practice being the mature artist, someone who is an artist 24/7. So as promised, this is what's included in the 30-day container. You can just take a screenshot. Great. And this is the structure of the class. In addition to all the workshops with me and all the journal prompts, you'll get access to a community that is walking through all of this stuff together. Thousands of people have gone through it. It's a lot of fun. You'll also have weekly creative assignments like discovering the high vision of your art, writing your artist statement. Very always sells out, so get in now. But to conclude, I want to say 2 things. 1, you have no idea how thrilling and liberating it is to discover how much you have been unwilling to do or be on behalf of your art. And 2, you have never met a more ruthless advocate for your art than you have in me.